Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Men of Yoshiwara Kikuya, or Gyakuten Yoshiwara. We are on the very last video that we have for Kagerou. Now, this will be the normal happy ending, whereas in the last video we got his super happy ending. And I almost don't want to do this because I really liked his super happy ending. Because it wasn't just a super happy ending for him, it was a happy ending for a lot of people. And I had the feeling the regular happy ending won't be happy for quite as many people as the other one was. So, but, I'll do it for you guys anyway, and we'll also read his extras. So, let me get started, and you can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. The last chapter, The Abiding Love. 3 days later, just as the doctor said, my temperature dropped significantly, and I was able to go home. For a moment, I was worried about you, but now everything is fine. Yes, I'm truly sorry for causing such worry. Misao. Just having him call my name made my heart leap. Kagerou-san, thank you so much. No, it's fine. Our glances intertwined. His eyes were straightforward and pure. Looking in his eyes was like looking at the Milky Way in the summer. Well, see you. As I crossed the threshold of the shop, wait. Kagerou-san ran out after me. Kagerou-san? This is for you. The boy had a flower in his hand. The flower was the same one that he had picked every day while I was sick in bed. This flower. Kagerou-san put the delicately blooming flower into my hair, just as he did when I was ill in the bed the other day. In the language of flowers, this flower is enduring love. Enduring love? Please, believe me and wait for me. Kagerou-san. With a tight squeeze, I was embraced by Kagerou-san's arms. It was like he put all of his feelings into it. He then pressed his lips to my forehead without making a sound. A gentle kiss. I will never do anything to make you sad ever again. So, his earnest attitude made my eyes moisten. Yes. He continued to embrace me for a long time. It was as if our hands would never touch each other again if we were to let go. Well then, I turned around and started to head home, but when I looked back, Kagerou-san continued to look at me with those clear eyes of his, looking at me until we could no longer see each other, without once looking away the whole time. It's not like I didn't believe him. He was a very straightforward person in every respect. But this is Yoshiwara. Here, the hands of those beautiful and ephemeral men exist for the purpose of sleeping with women. That's the kind of town this place was, whether I liked it or not. He will sleep with other women, with that pure heart of his. The tears that I had been trying to hold back flowed out like someone had opened the floodgates. No, I believe him. I should believe him. He always thought of me as his #1 priority, so he always put himself second. He was devoted to me. But Yoshiwara, where the cherry blossoms flutter under the blue sky, looked like a very lonely place. But, as if I was casting away many memories, I left the red light district. How long has it been since then? About 10 days? Please take care of these accounts as well. Yes. I completely returned to the life that I had before. The days passed by at such a dizzying pace that my memories of staying in Yoshiwara and of being ill started to fade away. Oh yeah, there was a visitor for you while you were out running errands for me. She was a very beautiful woman named Shion. Do you know her? What? Shion-san? What my mother then told me was that Shion-san wanted to make a deal with our shipping business, to ship cargo related to her husband's business. And she said she would be coming here now to discuss the deal, so please handle this. Me? I'm going to make a delivery to a regular customer, so you can handle it, right? I'm counting on you. After saying that, she quickly left the house. I'm going to discuss the deal with Shion-san. Is that really okay? Since I know her, it might make me feel at ease, but I felt strangely nervous. Knock, knock. I heard the sound of knocking on the sliding door. It was a customer. Come in, I've been waiting for you. I made myself presentable and then opened the sliding door. When I did, right there was...
It's been a long time, Misao.
Kagerou-san stood there with a pose that was loaded with sarcasm. Why? I heard that I was going to discuss business with Shion-san.
My sister will be late because of her business partner. So, I've come here in her place.
Huh? But Kagerou-san, what about Kikuya? Is it okay for a gentleman to be outside of Yoshiwara?
It's no problem. I'm just a normal person now.
What? I don't understand. What do you mean by that?
You are such a slow person.
Kagerou-san sighed in an affectionate manner. Was he making fun of me like he would always do?
I asked my sister to lend me the money to get out of the red light district.
So, does that mean you accepted her offer to buy your freedom? Even though he refused so vehemently before, he accepted her offer to buy his freedom. With an air of triumph, Kagerou took my hand and brought it close to his mouth. His previously cynical eyes had now turned completely serious.
Misao, I came here to ask for your hand in marriage.
Marriage? Did I mishear that, or... But...
I have yet to decide what I will do after this, but I'm supposed to help my sister's business for a while, using knowledge from my studies. After that, I will have to carve my path in life with my own strengths.
Misao. Yes? My hands, which were now being held by Kagerou-san, were hot, even though they weren't sweaty.
Will you be forever by my side?
He is... What is he saying?
You don't think I can make you happy?
No, it's not like that. My answer is yes. I will be with you forever. With those words, my mind became completely clear. And then, a moment later, the room's sliding door was opened. Surprised by this, I immediately let go of his hand.
Misao, Shion was in front of the store, so I brought her in with me.
It's been a while, Misao-san. Shion-san. The person that my mother bought with her was Shion-san. Actually, I discovered a problem with the job that I wanted to ask of you. For our current cargo, I need someone on the receiving end who is proficient in Dutch. Someone who can understand a foreign language.
That might be a problem.
Both myself and Misao haven't learned anything like that. What shall we do? We only need one person for a few months while we receive the cargo. Speaking of, maybe... I looked at Kagerou, who was in front of me. On the subject of foreign languages, Kagerou-san, you've learned some, right?
Yes, I can only read.
Really?
You guys have already promised to get married, haven't you?
Mother!
So, if Shion-san is okay with that, and this will be for a few months, so...
He can stay at our house and help us, can't he?
Stay at our house?
Is that what my mother just said? That's a good idea. If he stays at your warehouse, he can learn many things about being a merchant.
Sister, you're kidding, right?
No, I already lied enough when she was ill. So you're serious about this? Kagerou-san and I will be together under the same roof. When we looked at each other's faces, Kagerou-san's face was a brighter red than I've ever seen before. In the end, after being pushed to do so by my mother and Shion-san, it was decided that Kagerou-san and I would stay in our house. Since then, a month's time calmly passed by. In the same house, in the same room, and in one bed, I still couldn't get used to it.
Today was another hard day of work. I'm worn out.
I didn't expect the shipments to arrive at the port on the mainland. But thanks to you, our deals have gone through without a hitch.
It's really not that big a deal. Because you helped me a lot too, Misao. We work pretty well together too, don't you think?
Kagerou-san said that cheekily, as if he were already a professional. His recalcitrant attitude didn't change. You? If you keep acting cocky like that, Shion-san will punish you again.
That wouldn't be good, since we will soon be married.
Marriage? That's right. After 10 more days, we will finally become a married couple.
Well, I'm tired, so I'm going to bed now.
Kagerou-san stretched, changed into his sleepwear, and then lied down on the bed. "Are you going to sleep already?" I wanted to talk to him more.
"Good night, Misao."
And then I began to hear the regular sound of his quiet breathing as he slept. He must have been really tired. Did he really fall asleep already? I then quietly slipped my body into the same bed. Even the boy who always spoke harshly was as adorable as a child when his eyes were closed. Kagerou-san, enduring love. If it's with him, I'm sure we'll live the rest of our lives well. If it's just a little, I won't wake him, will I? I then slowly laid a kiss on his shapely lips.
"I didn't expect you to kiss me."
Huh? Kagerou-san then opened his eyes and stared at my face.
"I didn't think you would actually surprise me in my sleep."
What? You were pretending to sleep? You're terrible.
It's cute when you pout like that, so it makes me want to tease you. Hey, don't stay so far from me. Come closer, quickly.
He extended his arms and held my body close to him. Ugh! Frustrated to have been deceived, I turned my face away from him when he stole a kiss from me. Kagerou-san!
That's because you were looking away from me.
He tapped my lips with his finger, with a look of satisfaction on his face.
If this is how it'll be, how can I be sharp and tease you with all my heart from now on?
Kagerou-san laughed in his usual manner, but I felt warm in his arms. Maybe it's not so bad. We then look at each other and laugh for a long time. Oh, I achieved all endings, and I got Kagerou's happy ending. So, I'll have to check and see what other achievements I have left. Oh, there were a couple pictures of the guys that I didn't get, and I have no idea why. But, I'll go back to that point later. For now, let's move on to the sequel. Sequel, The Komachi Rouge. It's been a few months since Kagerou-san began staying at our warehouse. We finished our wedding ceremony and started living together under one roof to help my family business. In the morning, when we sat together for breakfast, our breakfast was there on the table, making steam. I changed the taste of the boiled fish today. I picked up a piece of boiled fish with chopsticks and brought it to Kagerou-san's mouth.
Misao, I can do that myself.
Kagerou-san's face turned red, and he brought his face away from it. It's okay. Go ahead and eat it. Do you like it?
You're shameless.
Kagerou-san reluctantly ate the piece of fish held by the chopsticks.
This taste. It's delicious.
Good. I tried to give it a lighter flavor to match your tastes.
This is definitely how I like it. But, since it's mushy, it's a waste of good flavoring. And I like miso soup that has a slightly deeper flavor.
He spoke like he was my mother-in-law. Was this the reverse side of his love? I took a sip of the soup from my bowl. Is it too light? I still have a lot to learn.
Then you should work hard to make it match my tastes. Since you're the woman I chose, Misao.
His mean eyes shined with pleasure in the light of the morning sun. Kagerou-san. I knew that he couldn't be honest about his feelings, but when you say something like that, I'm not sure if you're praising me or criticizing me.
I show my love in a very roundabout way, don't you know that already?
Well, faced with this confident smile, I was at a loss for words. Huh. If you don't eat now, it'll get cold. When I puffed up my cheeks a little in anger, Kagerou-san proudly raised the ends of his eyebrows. As we approached the end of breakfast, I stood up to carry our dishes to the kitchen.
Misao, wait.
Huh? I suddenly felt myself wrapped up in Kagerou-san's arms from behind. Kagerou-san.
I'm sorry for what I said before. I'm always grateful.
He gently crossed his hands around my stomach. My back and his stomach then touched each other snugly, and my heart became filled with warmth.
I was actually happy that you thought of me.
I liked this gentle voice and embrace. It was like Kagerou-san's unspoken feelings were being poured into this. But if possible, I wanted him to be a little bit more honest about his feelings.
Misao.
He softly stroked the outline of my cheek with his finger, and then he slowly turned my face back towards him. He He kissed me. Once, twice, and on the third time it became deeper. His tongue split apart my lips, with sensuality, invaded my mouth. Ugh. The strength of his palms that were around my waist, petting the lower part of my body. Kagerou-san! No, it's still morning! Our lips that once laid upon each other, now slowly parted.
Is it okay for you if it's not morning? To be honest, I want to feel you all the time.
Ever since our marriage ceremony, Kagerou-san wanted me more directly than before. But as he peered into my eyes with the look of a child that couldn't have his way, I felt kind of happy. But how should I respond to him?
Sorry, I've put you in an uncomfortable position.
He rubbed my wet lower lip with his thumb.
I understand. I'll stop now.
He pressed his nose to my neck. His breath against my ear made me feel ticklish. Ah! I was about to drop the dishes from my hands.
Got it. That was close.
Kagerou-san immediately extended his hand to hold the dishes. I'm sorry.
It's my fault for getting overly excited in the morning.
I felt slightly relieved when he put away the hand that was around my waist. Or did I feel a little disappointed? I felt my face getting hot, so I looked away from his glance. Oh, is that a flower? I saw a familiar-looking flower in the vase near the window. That purple reserved flower was the flower that Kagerou-san picked for me every day when I was sick in Kikuya.
I saw the same flower blooming in the riverside.
That's right. I like this flower so much. This subtle smell and its delicate yet dignified appearance reminded me of the loved one who was right next to me. I remember that, in the language of flowers, this flower means enduring love, right? But what is this flower's name?
Name?
Kagerou-san twisted his neck and thought deeply. Kagerou only told me its meaning in the language of flowers, so I don't know.
But now that you mention it, it does bother me. He should be finishing up his morning practice around this time. Why don't we try to ask Kagerou-san?
Yes, it would also be nice to see Kikuya on occasion. And so we decided to head to Yoshiwara after a long time of being away.
Hello. Oh, is that Kagerou and Misao? It's been so long.
Tokiwa-san! When we entered Kikuya, Tokiwa-san welcomed us with his friendly smile.
Well, it looks like you guys have been getting along well. What does a young couple need with a town like this?
Tokiwa-san had a juicy smile on his face, but because of his character, I didn't feel annoyed.
You haven't changed a bit, Tokiwa-san.
Anyway, I have something to ask Kagerou-san.
Kagerou-san? It doesn't seem like he's returned from his morning practice yet. So, you guys can come inside and wait.
Okay, thank you. After waving our hands and saying thank you to Tokiwa-san, we went inside the shop. We moved forward through the hall that leads to Kagerou-san's room, and we found the purple flower in the corner of the inner garden.
I didn't expect it to also bloom here. It wasn't only in the backyard.
It's a beautiful flower, so maybe someone planted it here too. Like it was attracting us, we went down to the garden and crouched in front of the flower. We were close enough for our shoulders to touch. It really is a beautiful flower. The beautiful petals of this flower made me naturally want to touch it. When I extended my hand to the flower, his fingers touched mine, trying to pick the same flower. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It seems that we just had the same thought.
Side by side, we then smiled at each other. I wonder if even our feelings echoed each other after spending a long time together.
Misao, here you go.
Kagerou-san took one of the flowers and gave it to me.
Well, what rare guests.
I looked back towards the voice, and there in the hallway I met the glance of a gently smiling Iroha-san.
It's been a long time, Iroha-san. I'm happy that you look to be well. But what is a married couple doing coming to a place like this? Has something happened?
Yes, we wanted to ask Kagerou-san about the name of this flower.
This flower is...
Iroha-san narrowed his eyes meaningfully when he looked at the flower that Kagerou-san was holding. Do you know the name of this flower?
No. I just thought it was interesting that the flower is still blooming here. What do you mean? Well, it was a really long time ago. This flower was divided by a top gentleman who left the shop after having his freedom bought.
I didn't know this flower had that kind of history.
But it seemed that the top gentleman had loved someone else. So the purchase of his freedom was not a happy one like yours.
Unwillingly having one's freedom bought. When I heard that story, the flower that was quietly blooming at our feet seemed lonely.
Maybe he wanted to leave that unachieved feeling of spending his life with her. Well, what was the meaning of this flower?
Unattained love. Wasn't it enduring love? Kagerou-san put his fingers over mine. I looked at his profile standing next to me. What was it? There was something quiet but deep in his eye.
Is it enduring love? Yes, that's it. You know quite a lot.
I heard it from Kagerou-san.
Oh, by the way, I asked Kagerou to go on an errand, so he may come back a little late. Well then, I'll be going.
Iroha-san bowed and left from there as if nothing happened. I didn't know that this flower had such a history.
Yes, really. We may be happier than we thought.
Kagerou-san, not only could we escape the captivity of the red light area, we could also live our life together. How precious it is. When I returned the grip of his fingers that were on top of mine, Kagerou-san tangled his fingers with mine. Then he carried them to his mouth and smiled softly.
It's strange. We were drawn to a flower with such a story.
With a cute and light smooch, he kissed the palm of my hand. Kagerou-san. The gentleness of his kiss filled my heart with overflowing happiness.
I'm really happy to have met you.
Yes, I love him. More than anyone and anything. Just when I thought that Kagerou-san's eye had moved from me to the flower.
By the way, do you have the Komachi Rouge that I gave you?
Komachi Rouge? I took the small shell out of my shirt pocket. Yes, here it is. I then looked at the picture painted on the familiar-looking shell, and... Ah!
Just as I thought.
We both raised our voices. The flower painted on the shell was the same flower that was blooming in the garden. The purple cute flower. And there were small characters written next to the painting. Chinese bellflower. That was clearly written there. Chinese bellflower.
I guess we didn't notice due to the differences between the painting and the real flower.
We compared the painting to the flower, and the flower that was blooming quietly in the garden. Is it possible that Komachi Rouge and Chinese bellflower are both important things that connect me and Kagerou-san? A transparent feeling filled my heart. When I looked up at Kagerou-san's face, my glance met his big night-colored eyes.
Perhaps the top gentleman who had his freedom bought was unable to obtain happiness. But the flower that I left connected us, like this.
The meaning of the Chinese bellflower in the language of flowers is enduring love. No matter how far apart we were, his love would be eternal. That top gentleman must have left the flower here while hoping that from the bottom of his heart...
Misao, I think that I need to be more honest about my feelings.
Kagerou-san?
Let us be happy, for all the couples who couldn't be together.
A very gentle smile spilled forth from that face that I love. Yes, we will be happy forever.
Misao.
His shapely fingers combed my hair, and I was embraced like our emotions were being pulled together. Then he laid his lips upon mine. His soft kiss, like a gentle breeze, always brought the feelings of spring to me, with the purpose of filling the heavenly garden of my heart with flowers of love. Kagerou-san. We repeated kissing many times. Enduring love. The meaning of this flower in the language of the flowers remained firmly in our hearts. So that was the sequel, and lastly we had the date scenario. Date. In the big festival. After a long trip, we arrived at the port, which was bustling with energy.
Misao, watch your step.
Kagerou-san lent me a hand as I tried to get off the boat. Yes, Kagerou-san. To assist with Shion-san's business, we have been living on the seas, traveling from place to place on a trading vessel.
It's been a while since we had a break, but you ended up coming where I wanted to go.
No, it's okay. I wanted to come to this island too.
I'm glad to hear that. I've been waiting to come back to this island with you around this time.
While looking slightly towards the ground, he joyously narrowed his smiling eyes.
Well, let's go.
Yes. He pulled my arm, but my pivoting foot got caught in the gap between the bridge beams. Ugh!
Thump.
I lost my balance and fell into Kagerou-san's chest.
What are you doing tripping about like that? Don't give me problems.
But this happened because you pulled my arm, Kagerou. When I looked up at his face, he had the expression of a child who had just played a trick.
Kagerou-san, you did that on purpose, didn't you? So, you found me out. I'm sorry. It felt so good to come to the island after such a long time, and it just happened.
It just happened. Kagerou-san, please stop this habit of making fun of me when you feel happy.
If I could stop it so easily, I would have stopped already.
He chuckled aloud. Then Kagerou-san used his fingers to play with my hair.
It's your fault that I have this sort of habit.
It's my fault.
Because you always pout with your cute lips when I do something like this.
Then he poked my lips with his index finger.
So, you have a responsibility to entertain me.
You're so mean. And yet his eyes watched over me with pleasure. Seeing him like that made me smile, with a feeling of excitement in my heart. We arrived at the market. We went around here and there, walking about the town that we hadn't seen in so long.
Wait, if you rush like that, you'll fall over again.
But with his fingers having firm hold on me, Kagerou never stopped watching over me. I'm okay. Even if I fall over, I'm sure that you'll help me like you did before. As I began laughing at him, Kagerou-san laughed with apparent embarrassment.
Hey, it's been a while since we got married. But we still act like newlyweds.
Oh, Kagerou, isn't that the bookstore over there, the one that you and I went to before? I pointed to the recognizable store. Through the glass window, I could see mountains of books, which was still rare to see on this island.
It looks like it's doing well.
We weren't sure who took the first step, but we started walking towards the store. We looked inside the store through the glass window.
This brings back memories.
Kagerou-san placed his hand over my own hands, which were up against the glass. The gentleness of his somewhat bittersweet and soft hands caused the memories of that day to flow into my mind. It was here that Kagerou-san and I first spent some time together outside of the red light district.
Misao.
With a clear voice, Kagerou-san called my name, and then our eyes met. Kagerou-san. As we continued staring at each other, our lips came close to each other and touched. As soon as I thought that...
You're bothering the other customers. Do that in the red light district.
Ugh. When we looked back, the portly female shopkeeper was standing at the entrance of the store. Sorry! As we held our hands and laughed together, we went back to the main street, where we could see the bridge. This island is different from the outside world, isn't it? After living in the outside world for a while, I completely forgot about that. Even though we had been freed, on this island, young men only existed in Yoshiwara. That reminds me. When you were in Kikuya, didn't you tell me that there was a place you wanted to go with me to?
Ah, yes, that.
Perhaps it was because he had just run here, but it looked like he was slightly blushing as he thought about it for a moment. What happened?
You'll understand when it turns to night.
A meaningful smile came across his face, and seeing this, I felt the speed of my heartbeat increase a little. We got tired of walking around the market, and around the time that twilight came to pass, we entered Yoshiwara and saw a strange crowd of people. But this seems a little different from the normal. Did Yoshiwara change while we were away from the island? On the main street, there were fair stalls lined up next to each other, and among the young women, I could see children who didn't fit in with this place.
Have you forgotten? Isn't today the festival that happens once a year?
Festival? The big festival celebrating the god of this island. Yes, that's right. Did Kagerou-san want to come to the festival with me? At that moment, the booming sound of the drums echoed through the area, and in the distance I started to hear the sounds of Japanese festival music. With the fully fledged start of the festival, lines of people began to move.
When we came to the fair before, it was in the daytime, wasn't it?
So this is why you said you wanted to spend our break on the island.
Yes, Misao.
He put his hand around my waist and held my shoulder close to him. Kagerou-san's eyes reflected the light of the lanterns and twinkled mysteriously. The ridges of his chiseled chin, the beautifully formed shape of his nose.
I want to spend time with you under the night sky like this.
His sweet, slightly nasal voice tickled the depths of my ears. In his clear voice that was neither that of an adult nor a child, I was emotionally excited. Kagerou-san, even after spending a few months together as a married couple, he still captured my heart.
Let's go. I have something I want to show you, Misao.
Something you want to show me?
Yes, hurry.
Treading lightly, Kagerou-san led me to Inari Shrine. We passed the main street lined with lanterns. We made our way to Inari Shrine in the red light district. As we got further away from the main street, it became less and less crowded with people.
Here it is.
Where are we? He brought me to a quiet, vacant lot behind the shrine's grounds. Why did you take me to an empty place like this?
Because it's empty. Come sit here and look up at the sky.
We sat next to each other on the edge of the shrine. When I looked up at the sky, it's beautiful. In the far distance, the red roofs and deep green woods were illuminated by dim lights. A stadium of stars shined brightly in the wide-open night sky.
The lights shining in Yoshiwara don't really reach this far. Isn't it beautiful?
Did Kagerou-san take me here to show me the night sky view? But instead of the night sky, the only thing being reflected in Kagerou's eyes was my face. So, why are you only looking at my face?
It's not like I was really looking at your face, but...
But? Even without the lights, I could see that his profile was being flushed with red. But what did he want to say?
Your eyes, as they reflect the stars, are much more beautiful than the night sky.
Those eyes of his that stole a look at me were so serious that they pierced my heart. Their color was deeper and clearer than the night sky. It was like they were showing me his heart. Kagerou-san. I gazed at his beautiful eyes without blinking.
What did you make me say?
His fingers that held mine, from when we came to the red light district until now, were trembling in concert with his eyes. His hands covered my body and embraced me tightly to try and conceal his shaking. Kagerou-san's soft hair tickled my neck and made me stir my body. I could smell the scent of flowers from his black hair.
When you look at me with such innocent eyes, I go crazy.
He grabbed my shoulders, and this time he peered into my face at a distance that seemed close enough for our noses to touch.
I just want you to.
His soft-speaking lips seductively enticed me. Kisses awaited me. When I thought about that, I completely forgot about the shining stars. The palm of his hand softly supported the back of my head, and... And right when our lips slightly touched each other... Boom! Crackle, crackle. I knew it! I knew they were here to see fireworks. A large flower bloomed in the night sky with a loud bursting sound. A flood of multicolored lights shined throughout the entire sky. The sounds erased Kagerou-san's words, and he kissed me again deeply. I was worried that he might feel my shamelessly racing heartbeat through my body. The kiss was long. So long. No matter how many times the fireworks shined in the night sky, his never-ending kiss continued to want me intensely. His amorous tongue invading my mouth opened away past my teeth and tangled itself with my tongue. It was hot. The brightness of the sparks burned my sight and made my eyes water.
Misao.
His lips momentarily separated from mine, and he called my name from his half-open mouth. His hand that held the back of my head traced the nape of my neck that did not know its touch. Before I knew it, his deft fingers were undoing the buttons at my chest.
See? Don't you think it's beautiful to see the fireworks from here?
But the only thing that catches my eye is your beautiful face.
I wanted to show you the fireworks in this place, Misao.
Kagerou-san. My consciousness was already filled with love, halfway between a dream and reality.
This place is a little-known good spot. It's so beautiful, but nobody comes here.
There alone, his sweet voice and the sounds of the fireworks burned inside my ears. What are you doing in a place like this?
Nobody will come here.
But my voice...
Now the sounds of the fireworks should hide it. So, just a little.
Kagerou-san's eyes were heated by passion that was uncharacteristic of a boy. Boom. At that moment, a large set of fireworks went off in the night sky. Ah. At the same time, Kagerou-san's lips strongly sucked my neck. The palm of his hand slowly came in through the seams of my blouse. His hand lifted my soft bosom from below my chest, and the palm of his hand slowly fondled me. The tip of his nail then touched the top of my nipple in a teasing manner. Ah! A disgraceful voice slipped from my throat, and the sounds of the fireworks bursting in the night sky drowned my voice out. Kagerou-san! Unable to resist any longer, I put my arms around Kagerou-san's back. I couldn't support my body unless I grabbed onto something. I almost went crazy from the mass of heat overflowing from my body.
Misao.
Was it from embarrassment or a melting ecstasy? Did I want him to stop or did I want more? Before I knew it, I buried my face into his neck and bit my lips.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to see the momentary beauty of the fireworks. But if you're going to act so seductively,
His usually cool and sharp eyes were only at this moment shining brightly with sparks of fire. We kissed once more.
Misao.
The fireworks that painted the night sky were beautiful, and Kagerou-san's sweet stimulation made me feel good. I wanted to stay like this and be carried away in this experience.
Just a little.
Yes, Kagerou-san. As we weaved together the joys of our love, the flood of lights and sound continued to dance beautifully in the sky. And that is it for Kagerou. And actually, well, that's pretty much it for the game. But, shoot. I'm going to take a look at his gallery real quick and see if we got all of his pictures or not. Yep, we got all of his, so there were 2 pictures that I believe from 2 other guys. Well, 1 picture each from 2 different guys. So, I don't know. I'll look into that. But we also have this sub-story thing. So I guess there are different scenarios, different date scenarios that we have with the different guys. I'll look into this in another video later on. So, if you'd like, you can come back for that. I hope to see you in my future videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.